Hello, everyone. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and here's what's happening in LA this week. It's been 38 years since a new federal holiday was established in America. In 1983, Martin Luther King Jr. Day was signed into law by President Ronald Reagan. But the holiday itself would not actually be observed until 3 years later in 1986. Well, as you may have heard, we have a newly established federal holiday, and President Biden signed this new law just in time to observe it the same year. Channel 35 was at Leimert Park to report on an annual neighborhood event and America's newest national holiday, Juneteenth.
Never in my life did I dream that Juneteenth would be a federal holiday, and the fact that it's announced on the same day Leimert Park is being reopened is God-driven. So we just want to thank God and the city leadership for making sure that we can enjoy this historic moment in history.
It took 152 years since slavery ended for this day to come, and it's just a great celebration.
The idea of Juneteenth means, number one, you celebrate a birthday. You commemorate an auspicious occasion. So we are doing it in a celebratory way.
The symbolism of Juneteenth should not be ignored. It is powerful in and of itself. The substance that it represents is even better. And that's what we lay claim to today as we attempt to move it forward to fulfill the promises of democracy.
Pues es algo bellísimo, you know. Es una cultura, si te interesas en la cultura de América, tienes que saber que la cultura americana es afroamericana.
This is an annual event. Look forward to Juneteenth 2022, when the Vision Theater will be open by that time, or when the Metro line will be running by that time.
We're very happy and ecstatic that the park is open now, that we can enjoy, bring our family, our children can play and eat in it. So we want to thank City Councilman Mark Lee Thomas for making sure the park is reopened. So we're excited.
With Independence Day right around the corner, the concern over illegal fireworks and too much partying are paramount to city agencies like Animal Services, the Fire Department, and LAPD. In a recent interview with Channel 35, LAFD Captain Eric Scott succinctly puts the reasons for fireworks safety into one phrase: pets, vets, and kids. Take a look.
Residents of Los Angeles should not set off fireworks really for three big reasons: pets, vets, and kids. We see pets that run away, they're scared, they don't know what's happening. It's the #1 day of the year that people lose those pets, and for many people it's like a family member to them.
One of the best ways to be able to keep your pets safe during the 4th of July holiday, especially when the fireworks start going off, is to make sure you keep your pets indoors, preferably in a secure room, a quiet room, or in a comfortable crate that they're familiar with.
And then the veterans, the combat veterans, they feel like they're back at a war zone. We've seen some individuals suffer from PTSD, and hearing all the fireworks go off nonstop throughout the night is very trying for them. And then the other one is the kids. You know, we see really children under the age of 5 that are injured the most, and it's tragic and it's preventable.
We want everybody to have a fun and safe 4th of July. And unfortunately, on major holidays like this, people have a tendency to consume alcohol and they could get behind the wheel of a car. Use Uber, use Lyft, get a designated driver, do something else. We really don't need to be behind the wheel after drinking. Go to a professional show, spend time with your family, enjoy the fireworks, enjoy the time with your family and your barbecue, and just be safe.
One of the great culinary gems of the Westlake neighborhood is the kosher-style delicatessen Langer's. Opened in 1947, the restaurant was lauded for its Marilyn Monroe of pastrami sandwiches, and like many eateries, Langer's temporarily closed its doors due to the pandemic. Well, after more than 400 days, the deli is back open for business, and City Attorney Mike Fewer and LAPD Chief Michael Moore are among the first in line for a taste of comfort food. Check this out.
Langer's is open, and California is open for business.
we're here at Langer's, which is a signature institution here in the city of Los Angeles. Langer's is a place that where people come from all over our region to enjoy pastrami and have great hospitality here. And to celebrate the reopening here is really symbolic of what we can do here in Los Angeles. We've been through some really tough times, but today is a moment when we celebrate reopening and the opportunity for everybody to re-engage with the economy, to get back to restaurants, back to businesses, and back to life.
Tengo dos trabajos y de los dos trabajos no pude trabajar por muchos meses. Fue muy difícil.
We had to let all of our servers go, and incidentally, they all came back, every one of them.
Day after tomorrow, on Thursday the 17th, will be 74 years that my father opened this up. And it's important to me. All of these employees have been with me for many, many years. My manager's been here 35, my chef has been here 51. This is family. And we were closed for 469 days, and today is Smile Day. Today's the day to reopen, rekindle relationships with our regular customers, and welcome new ones.
Well, it's a great day for California by opening today, allowing the men and women who have Langer's to serve in-service dining. I want to welcome Los Angeles back. We're back in business.
More and more, Los Angeles is seeing underutilized or failed properties transformed and repurposed to meet the needs of LA residents. Since it was originally built in 1942, the Rose Hill Courts public housing complex has seen better days. Now, Council Member Kevin DeLeon and the Housing Authority of the City of Los Angeles are breaking ground on a reimagined purpose for the property. Take a look.
We're going to knock down the old 1942 constructed Rose Hill Courts apartments, and with that we're going to build a beautiful 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartments, for the community. It's well deserving here in Rose Hills, 90032. It's a day of celebration. It's a day that we say, hey, we need more affordable housing in Los Angeles, not less. And we can't replace affordable housing with exclusive market. It just doesn't make sense with a working class city like LA. So that's why we're going to actually almost double the number of affordable housing. So we're not doing less, we're doing almost double, which is a really good thing for all the community members here. So it's a day of celebration.
Apartamentos muy antiguos que no tenemos ya cosas como aire acondicionado y las ventanas no servían. O sea, están haciendo muy bien en hacerlos nuevos otra vez.
Besides the new housing, there's going to be new infrastructure, new streets, new sidewalks, new bikeways. There are going to be community gardens. There'll be a community space and community center here as well. There'll be new bus stops, so it's tying into the larger community here in terms of infrastructure improvements. This will be like a whole brand new community right next to this beautiful recreational space that we're on right now.
Porque estamos bregando con una crisis humanitaria, donde nuestra gente trabajadora están perdiendo sus viviendas, víctimas del desalojo, un índice alarmante de indigentes viviendo en las calles, en las banquetas, en los parques. Por eso necesitamos muchas más viviendas económicas para las familias trabajadoras aquí en la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
Councilmember Gil Cedillo helped cut the ribbon on the newly named Dolores Wong Plaza. This green space is dedicated to the psychiatric social worker for her many contributions to the Asian American community through advocacy, volunteerism, and philanthropic endeavors.
We are so honored that my good friend, Councilmember Gil Cedillo, took the leadership to name this beautiful plaza in honor of Dolores Wong. And we think that this is a way of establishing a living testimony to the power of community spirit, the power of community organizing, and the importance of honoring those who have gone before us to make this community a better place to live.
With the rise in anti-Chinese American hate, it seems appropriate that at this moment we would acknowledge such a pioneer and trailblazer like Dolores Wong. A alike the Wong family. As we come out of COVID, an opportunity for us to create public space that's safe, well lit, and right here at this incredible intersection where all these communities come together, Chinatown, Pueblo, a few blocks away from Little Tokyo, this seems to be a great place for people to come together and build community.
The Chinese American community, Asian American communities, and all communities of color not only are tolerated in LA, but they're welcome and celebrated in Los Angeles. And so projects like this is an affirmation that they're welcome here, this is their city, and that this is one that we want them to enjoy and to know that these spaces are dedicated to them, and sometimes they're untold stories, like Dolores Wong.
One of Dolores Wong's most notable contributions to her community was providing the endowment that paved the way for establishing the first public library in the heart of Chinatown. LAPD hosts an LGBTQ community forum. Kevin DeLeon attends Justice for Janitors Day, and city leaders show support of a racial equity motion on Juneteenth. These stories up next on City Beat.
Los Angeles Police Chief Michael Moore and Assistant Chief B. Gurmala recently held their annual LGBTQ Community Forum in downtown Los Angeles. The 2021 LGBTQ Forum was held on the LAPD Chief's Terrace, continuing Pride Month and recognition of LGBTQ rights in Los Angeles. City officials actively reiterated the hope of community contact and cooperation in making Los Angeles a more safe and socially equitable city.
Because all of us are diminished in our city whenever there is any act of hate perpetrated against any of us based on who they are.
These are the jobs you can't remote out. We had to be there.
Members of the Service Employees International Union rallied to recognize and celebrate Justice for Janitors Day.
They're on the front lines, they're the essential workers, but oftentimes for the rest of LA, they're the essential yet invisible workers.
The rally was an effort to raise visibility for janitors on the eve of new contract negotiations. On the day that Juneteenth becomes a national holiday, members of the City Council introduced an equity motion and justice budget for consideration by the entire council.
It is aspirational in its content, but it is essentially a blueprint for establishing an anti-racist Los Angeles.
The motion aims to address long-standing disparities in pay and wealth-building opportunities for Black Angelenos. Additionally, Mayor Eric Garcetti announced the formation of the Mayors Organized for Reparations and Equity, a national commission focused on launching reparations pilot programs targeted to Black Americans.
Many COVID-19 restrictions were lifted in time for Father's Day, and the LAPD baseball team came up with the perfect way to celebrate dads and to reconnect with their community. They issued a challenge to the Pacoima Pirates, threw in free barbecue lunches, dad contests, music, and carnival games, and voila! You've got yourself the local baseball event of the season. Check this out.
Well, today we're here with the community. We're putting on a clinic representing LAPD, and we just want to give back to the community and get people out here, especially with the pandemic going. We just want to bring the community together.
We know the local team here, Pacoima Pirates. We see them all day. This is where we work, and we decided to play a competitive game against these guys. We set it up together so the fathers and the families can witness, not only enjoy a barbecue and free food and free giveaways and contests, but a game, a real competitive game. To me, this is all about fathers, community, and bringing the police together with the community. And it's going to be a wonderful day for not only the fathers, but the whole entire family.
I think it's great. I feel like it's something good for the kids to look up to as well. My son looks up to the LAPD. He feels safe with them, and he enjoy seeing that they're here at the park participating too as well.
Que escogieron un día muy bueno. Es el fin de semana de Día de Padres y están trayendo soporte y mucha ayuda a los niños que en veces no tienen alguien que esté por ahí por ellos. Y les deseo un buen juego, les deseo un feliz Día de Padres a ellos también, porque ellos, la mayoría también son padres.
I believe it's super important for us to have these connections with the community, especially on Father's Day weekend, to be able to bring the community together with their parents, have everybody involved, and especially representing LAPD, the community, just coming together as one is what's really important, and especially to be able to share it with my son.
Happy Father's Day, Daddy.
Thanks, bud.
With the pandemic gradually shrinking in the rearview mirror, LA's sights are set on spending a long, hot summer outdoors and having fun. And just in time, the Los Angeles city pools are reopening for the season. Maria Hallbrown sits down with Monique Schwaneman from the LA City Aquatics facility to get the deets on safety at city pools.
Well, whether you like to dip or dive or splash or swim, the City of Los Angeles has lots of wonderful pools for you to enjoy this summer. And to tell us all about it, Monique Schwaneman. She is the Aquatic Facilities Manager.
We have a multitude of pools in the Pacific region, in the Metro, in the Valley, and in the South region, like here. Come on in, make sure that you have a swimsuit. So it has to be the swimsuit material. And of course, if you need to have a full cover-up for religious reasons or personal reasons, that is totally fine, as long as it's that swimsuit material. So make sure you bring that. We don't allow flotation devices of your own. And a lifeguard's favorite rule, always walk. So please don't come running in here. We will tell you otherwise. And yeah, we have recreational swim, lap swimming for adults, lessons for kids and adults. It's a lot of fun.
What are some of the first things as a lifeguard you want people to realize when it comes to being safe in the water?
The first thing is communication with your party. Whoever you're swimming with, you never want to swim alone. You always want to swim with a buddy or a group, and then talk to each other. And don't be afraid about telling them what your limitations are. If you can only swim in the shallow end, that is totally fine. Just be open about that with the person that you're swimming with. There is no food or drink allowed on our decks.
There you go.
So it's not really a problem. Go ahead and eat outside, let your stomach settle, and then you're free to come in.
Spending time in the public pools is not the only way the City of LA is helping the residents beat the heat. Later in the program, we'll take you to another super cool spot in the Valley. In 2004, residents at the City of Los Angeles passed Proposition O, a clean water bond. Prop O authorized $500 million of bonds for projects that protect public health by cleaning pollution in the city's watercourses, rivers, lakes, and ocean. Well, it's taken a while, but the new Argo drain filtration plant in Council District 11 is part of realizing that measure. Council member Mike Bonin and city engineer Gary Lee Moore were on hand to celebrate the opening.
Thank you everybody for being here today for the opening ceremonies for the Argo Drain Prop O facility. Where we are right now is the culmination of a dual promise. This is a fulfillment of a dual promise to the environment, to our planet, and a promise long delayed to the communities that live within the shadows of this airport.
We're out here today to celebrate the capture of stormwater. And what's so great about that is instead of this dirty first flush stormwater that will go out to the ocean, we're actually going to capture it and infiltrate it into the ground. How do we do that? Well, there's 3 big storm drains that we're gathering together, the flow from those, and then we connect that through a pipe, goes over to a pump station, make sure all the trash is removed, sediment. Then we send the water over to a basin where the water will settle more, take out more contaminants, and finally it flows into 2 different systems. One is a 250-foot diameter by 27 feet deep tank where the water will just naturally flow into ground at 3 inches per hour. All of this is to capture that dirty stormwater, treat it, and then percolate it back into the ground.
As a result of this project, about 100 million gallons a day of water is returned to the ground, and that provides drinking water for our use here. And of course, we'll have a new park for enjoyment of the public.
This project wouldn't happen without Prop O, which is the $500 million clean water bond that voters approved in 2004. This is the voters that did that.
Cooling centers are free indoor air-conditioned locations where Angelinos can keep cool when there are extreme heat weather conditions. The city of Los Angeles has long since designated our public libraries as cooling centers, and the Department of Rec and Parks has joined the Legion of Locations to help as well. We visited the Canoga Park Senior Center to see how the city is preparing to invite residents out of the heat.
At Canoga Park, in the area we're at, there's a lot of apartments. There's people struggling, especially seniors, with finances to put air conditioning on all day. It's very expensive. Here we have air conditioning, so the seniors can come, they can get the air conditioning, and they're not running the machine at their apartment or their house all day long.
It's just great. It's a wonderful temperature, and they have snacks and drinks, great movies, so it's nice and relaxing if you're hot at home.
And we really try to make it pleasant, and it's a sense of community. And here, it's really important to the community that we have a place to meet and get together.
Within many socioeconomic circles, there is a stereotype that says these people or this group don't go to therapy. Part of it is a trust issue, like we saw during the vaccine push for COVID-19. And sometimes it's about embarrassment. In our featured story this week, Maria Hallbrown talks with Dr. Laura Kokinda about mental health and focusing on taking away the stigma of reaching out for help.
Over 450 million people worldwide suffer from some sort of mental health issue. But there's still some sort of stigma attached to admitting that. Why? Well, we need to figure that out, and we need to change it. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Dr. Laura Kokinda from LA's Medical Services to talk about this very real problem. Why is there such a stigma about admitting that you have some sort of mental health issue that could easily or maybe difficultly addressed, but you have to face up to it first?
Well, you know, as I like to say, we all have our issues, so it's incredibly common. Everybody needs some help at times, but we don't like to ask for help. You know, people want to do things on their own and appear strong, which is understandable. However, like you said, help can really improve someone's life when we're struggling.
What is it about sharing? What is it about actually, getting it out and exposing whatever it is that you're harboring inside that helps the psyche?
Well, one analogy that I like to use to explain to people is we all go through life, we're born with an empty backpack. So we have this backpack behind us, and as we go through our lives, things happen. And it's like, okay, we're gonna stuff that back there and stuff this back there. So this stuff kind of accumulates in our imaginary backpack. So when you share, it's like cleaning it out. It's like spring cleaning for this stuff that we've picked up over our time, because otherwise it weighs us down. So it's therapeutic for the individual to share and clean that out, but it's also therapeutic for others to hear something that they can relate to, and it makes it feel safer to speak up and say, hey, I had something really similar, you want to talk about it?
There are definitely issues that are something that you can sort of manage at home, and then there are the ones that you really need to go seek professional help. So it's been a week. Mm-hmm. Is that when you really need to reach out to someone else, or is that when you can still work perhaps towards helping yourself?
Well, in these times, there's a lot of really great resources available online. So
depending on the severity of how you're feeling, if things are feeling very, kind of hopeless, if you're feeling really helpless, then definitely reach out. You can get professional help now from your home. There's a lot of treatment that's done just via telehealth, which is awesome because it makes it easier instead of having to get in your car, maybe sit in traffic, go somewhere. Especially if you have some anxiety about starting treatment, all that stuff's removed. You can meet with a practitioner via computer, which is really helpful, I think, for some people to get the ball rolling. But if you're not feeling quite as helpless and hopeless and you want to start to work on some things at home, go online, Google coping skills, put in some searches that would give you tools that you can start to practice, and they can really be helpful.
Sign your kids up for NASA's Astro Camp. Visit the Portraits of Freedom Building a Life in LA exhibit or take a free California native garden tour. All this up next on Things to Do.
Just in time for summer, the Watts branch of the LA Public Library invites kids to NASA's Astro Camp. Astro Camp will give students the chance to explore and experience topics like astrophysics, earth science, planetary science, and more. The event will be led by real live NASA specialists. Astro Camp is for all the future astronauts and engineers to learn about space with NASA unique activities. NASA's Astro Camp will blast off Thursday, July 1st, starting at 12 noon. For the Zoom information, please email cnichols@lapl.org. Grand Park and the Music Center will be celebrating the July 4th holiday with a month-long public art installation entitled Portraits of Freedom, Building a Life in LA. Drop by and see feature photography and video exhibitions as well as a nighttime projection installation, all exploring the Independence Day themes of freedom and home. Get inspired by art that honors our collective longing for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Portraits of Freedom, Building a Life in LA will be on public display throughout the month of July. Head on down to Grand Park at 200 North Grand Avenue in downtown Los Angeles. For more information, visit grandparkla.org. Have you ever wondered what a drought-tolerant garden looks like? Well, look no further. The LA Made video series from the Los Angeles Public Library has got you covered. Join landscape designer Flor Mota and librarian Patty Alvarado as they take you on a garden tour in the Boyle Heights neighborhood. Discover new, beautiful plants that are largely native to California. Cultivating your green thumb is easy when you check out the California Native Garden Tour. This LA Made presentation happens Thursday, July 1st, beginning at 4 p.m. This event will be streaming live on the LA Public Library's YouTube channel and Facebook page. And that's a look at some virtual things to do.
And that's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.